loyalty card and mobile app. And we have less murmuring from around. And back rows, there's a lot of mobile phone browsing going on in back rows over there. I'm just going to stare at the lady on her mobile phone until she realises that I'm talking about her. There you go. Phone away, please. Phone away. Especially as you had your earphones in, so you were listening to something. That's why you couldn't hear me. Right. So Starbucks uses predictive analysis. They use machine learning to look at the drinks that each customer buys, where they physically buy them, what time they buy them as well, and matches this with data such as weather and also promotions that they're putting on to serve ultra-personalised ads to customers, like on their mobile phones and also programmatically around the internet. So one of the things that they can do as well is identify the customer at the till, and the barista, the person serving them, can see what that customer's preferred order is in some cases. So it means that the barista could say to them, Americano what? And I'd be like, yes, thank you. And it takes away that interaction. And actually that delights the customer. It's taking away a pinch point. And they also will already know your name, so they don't need to write it on the cup. So this is something that Starbucks is doing in some places. They have millions and millions of customers, but by doing that, they can make a customer who's in another country from their usual Starbucks feel like a local by basically saying, by already knowing their local order. And over time, as more and more multinational chains do stuff like this, we will come to expect that level of personalization as well, which means other companies will need to keep up with that level of technology. So that's something that other chains will, with Starbucks already doing it, other chains, if they're not already trying to do it, then they might end up disappearing. It needs to be part of their strategy to go, okay, this is something that we really need to be working on. We really need to get our operations to be capable of things like this. So thinking about the platforms that a company uses can really help achieve their strategic aims. So things like whether they're going to use cloud data centers, if they're going to use native apps rather than using other apps for their business. So we're very used to being able to order food on an app, to get to be delivered to your house or to click and collect, but also physical spaces such as a food court where you've got lots of businesses in the same place. Rather than being, they're all separate businesses, but the place where they are, the food court, in this case, they've built a native app that means that the people visiting that food court can look at all those businesses at once on one single app. So even if the places that are supplying the food have their own, if you're in this place as a customer, you've just got one app that you can use to get any food from anywhere in that hall without already knowing which business that you want. And that works very well for that company. It's quite a new thing. But using a cloud platform rather than trying to host it yourself and using cloud servers obviously means that you can scale up very quickly. If you've just created an app that's going to work, that you designed to work just among your friends, and then you're like, actually, I've got something really good here. You can, if you're using the cloud, if you're using like Amazon Web Services, something like that, you can just scale up and you can serve many more people to grow with your business. So yes, and also it might be that you know that you're very, very busy and you need, so with something like this, you'll be very busy at lunchtime and at dinner time. It might not need so much server activity at other times of the day. So these sorts of technologies, as a business, you as digital marketers won't get to decide whether you do these things in the cloud. But what you can do is try and influence or work with, like, your IT department to say, look, we need this kind of platform to make it happen, and they need to understand the strategy behind it. So connectivity, obviously the faster your connection is, the faster customers' connections are, the better it is for your business. And you can also harness certain connections to provide a more delightful experience for your customers or potential customers. So we obviously know about increasingly faster infrastructure such as 4G to 5G and at some point 6G, and also using Bluetooth to connect. If you as a business are located somewhere where you've got a very good mobile connection, then you can offer more to your customers, really. Sometimes you might be, if you're in a very rural area where you don't have great connectivity, you need to kind of be realistic about what you can provide to customers. But anyway, one of the things with connectivity is you can do all sorts of exciting things. So these are, I really want to play this video. I might not be able to hear it, but hopefully see it. It's quite a cool thing. No, go back. They actually produce, if you like looking at nice content, cats and dogs, they have lots of cute content. And the campaign is called Looking For You. And if I can play the actual video. No, sorry. Hold on. Let me try and get this so I can actually see it on the screen. Dog on the billboard.
We started with a simple leafleting campaign, so we could identify the people who love dogs. And we paint the thin RFID chips embedded in the leaflets to make them discoverable. Again, the sensors alerted the digital screen to consult with the leaflet approach, triggering our dog to appear.
The dog appears when it sees the RFID.
Check the direction they approach, and the different video was triggered. Just like a real stray, our dog appeared wherever they went. Trying to attract their attention. Then he followed them from one coaster to another, all around the area. Once he made his presence felt, he told people what he wanted them to do. Multiple screens all over the area, our dog followed them no matter which road they took. Over a 2-week period, we directed thousands of people to the fantasy website. At the Twitter feed, where lots of local dogs were featured. The Instagram has followed this dog's home.
So an example of how harnessing technology in a really, really relevant and clever way
that's appropriate for that business and really works because of the type of content. So much thought has gone into that, but also logistically, very, 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 obviously very challenging. You need the creative, you've got the digital marketeer who might come up with the idea, but then you need to get so many people on board to be able to create something like that. So this is where you all need to be working together, and then getting an external business. So the area where all those buildables were was all around a sort of private mall area, so they've got them on board to also be able to do it. And when you think about it, those other businesses that have bought billboard space, that disappears when someone is seeing the dog instead. So there's a lot of stakeholders involved that you need to get on board with your strategy. And if all your strategy is I just think it would be cute to have a dog following someone around, that's not going to be enough to get everyone on board, everyone you need on board with the idea in order to make it a reality. So if you've got good strategic reasons behind your ideas, you can quantify it, then yeah, and you can get everyone on, you're more likely to get everyone on board. Right. I would have loved to have had that dog following me around all over while I'm walking, and it probably would have made, like, I'm a cat person, but it probably would have turned me into a dog person. So another key area identified by Deloitte when it comes to themes, strategic themes that companies need to work together on is integrity, which focuses on improving resilience, security, ethical tech, and trust across all internal and external facing business systems and processes with a cyber-minded culture to address continuously evolving threats. This is basically all to do with data management, really, is keeping your customers' data and your data safe. And it's very, if you want your customers who you're advertising to trust you, you need to know that the rest of your business is also on board and providing the platform that you need. One example of security, keeping you secure, is multi-factor authentication, which for some reason I found that my thumbprint doesn't really work that well in hot countries, which makes multi-factor authentication tricky. But yeah, multi-factor authentication is an example of something that's sort of emerged in the last few years that we're becoming more and more just accustomed to, that we expect. And actually, we're sort of ending up phasing out passwords. We're using things like passkeys. I'm very on board with getting rid of passwords because my students back in the UK never remember the password for the website that I built for them. So yes, making sure that your company is staying up to date with these sorts of developments. So finally, just thinking about, just bringing this all together really into thinking about your integrated strategy development. What are the strategic business goals? Not just your marketing goals, but your business goals. What technology supports these, and how will operations and also the workforce, as well as the customers, how is everyone going to be impacted? In order to make sure that your smart objective, your objective of becoming like a market leader is achievable, you need to know that all of your strategic business, all of the business is aligned to the same strategy. But it isn't always going to be led by digital marketing, that's the thing. Much as you'd like it to be, you are one cog in the machine. So yes, everyone working together to come up with these goals and to work towards them. So hopefully you feel that you have an understanding of the very big and complex world of digital marketing strategy that turns out involves a lot of things that aren't digital marketing, unfortunately. An insight into how businesses can manage and integrate digital into their strategy, an insight into the main trends and themes of digital marketing currently, although we're going to talk more about that in seconds, and an understanding of how these can be incorporated into successful strategic plans. So Slido wasn't working, it is working now. If you want to add any questions about any of that, please do. Again, we'll just have another 5 minutes before I move on to the next one. So use that time as well to write any questions. And yeah.